Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first ever show on the Ninja MMA picks. We'll be looking at the bets that are coming out this week, this Saturday. Allen versus Craig. You don't want to miss it. But before we go there, I'm your host, Taj, here, showing you how you can take advantage of the UFC, how you can take advantage of the MMA and cash in some money. It's cash out season, baby. So listen, before you go on, just click on that like and subscribe to this channel as we go on with what we have for you today. So before we go there, I need to first of all check how we did last time, how we fared the last time, which was last week, UFC 295. Yes, and UFC 295, we placed 10 bets on Prohaska, Pavlovich, Lopez, Eseg, Bolshev, Madsen Kang, Joshua Van, and Emmers. At the end, we had 6 over 10, with Pavlovich losing to Aspinall and Prohaska losing to Pereira, and also a loss by Kang to Castaneda, and also Martin to Gordon. So we had 6 over 10 last week. This week, we're going to top up that. So I'm going to take you to the mashup that we have set up for this week, and it's taking place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. It's going to be broadcast at ESPN Plus, and it's the Octagon. We have 14 fights slated out for you. So we're going to be looking at a brief discussion into fighter stats and what will be the opportunity there that anyone can take advantage of. So we're going to go first of all to the prelims. We're going to go to the prelims right now, where we have some very tough matchups on flyweights, lightweights, bantam, and featherweights there to thrill us. First on the card is Charles Johnson versus Rafael Estevam. Charles Johnson versus Rafael Estevam. Charles Johnson is known as Ina G. That's his guy name, and Rafael Estevam is Macapa. Now, if you look at the stats of these two guys, it's very interesting because they're flyweights. Rafael Estevam is ranked 20, and Charles Johnson is ranked 31. And you can see on the profile record, it's 11 wins, no losses, and no draws for Rafael Estevam. And Charles Johnston is 13 wins, 5 losses, and no draws. Right. So let's look more on their stats. They're 27 years of age. Rafael is 27. Charles Johnson is 32 years of age, weighing at 125. That's 56 kilograms and 57. They have a height of 5 feet 8 inches, 5 feet 9 inches. And then you're gonna see that the reach is just 1 inch reach advantage for Charles Johnston. He trains out of Tiger Muay Thai, Musalago MMA, and St. Charles Gym. Right. So from what I can see, my prediction is a win for Rafael Estevam. You can see that he has 5 wins on his record. The last time he fought was 1 year ago against João Elias, which he won comfortably with a ground and pound KO. You can see Charles Johnson. His last loss was 6 months ago to Cody Dordin, and it was a unanimous decision. So I'm going to be going with Rafael Estevam on this one, and I'm going to be putting 1 unit on this and see how far it comes. Second fight of the night is Nicholas Mortar versus Trey Ogden. Now, from the little I know about these two guys, Trey Ogden is a pressure fighter. He has stamina. He can go 3 rounds, and he never stops. His last fight with Behamondes was a very tough one. Behamondes, as you know, is a very good fighter. But Mortar was knocked out in his last fight, and I've been watching his game. I can see that Mortar is not too full well-rounded. He doesn't have good ground game, no ground defense. And while Trey Ogden kicks on the legs, Malta is more like a kickboxer stance. And for me, Trey Ogden is going to do better. From here, we can see that Trey Ogden is 5'11", and Malta is 5'9". And then you can see the weights is 72 kg to 70 kg. Because Malta is 30 years old, Trey Ogden is 34. And your pro record you can see here is 16 wins, 6 losses for Trey Ogden, and then 13 wins and 5 losses for Nicholas Malta. And like I said, his last loss was to Manuel Torres, the TKO elbow. Um, and for Trey Ogden, Ignacio Bahamondes was a decision. And so if you look through these guys, for me, I can see a clear path for Trey Ogden because he's the taller man. He's got much more experience. And if you watch his last fight, you can see that he really did well. Um, and I think he's ready to give us a win here. So I'm going to go with Trey Ogden for the second fight of the night. So we'll go next to Lucy Pudilova versus Aileen Perez. I don't really like bet much on women because for me, I think they're always like you never can tell. You never can tell with the women. So I probably just have to skip that and then go on to Lucas Alexander versus Jeka Saragi. Jeka Saragi was one of the winners of the road to the UFC and a very good fighter. Just had one fight in the UFC. Lucas Alexander, the Lion, good fighter with good record of 8 wins and 3 losses. Jeka Saragi has 13 wins and 3 losses. The last fight for Jeka Saragi was a loss to Ashul Jubli 9 months ago. And then if you check that for Alexander, is a win to Steven against Steven Peterson, and that was a good fight like 7 months ago. Those two guys really favor up to the fight. The heavy favorite here is Lucas Alexander, and the moderate underdog, Jeka Saragi. Um, for me, I watched the two fights, watched their previous fights, and I think I'm gonna be going with Jeka Saragi on this one because he seems the fresher fighter. He seems more hungry for it. He's got quite some good experience here with 16 fights compared to 11 Lucas Alexander. They're both 28 years of age with 70 kg, which is the weight for Jacob Saragi, and 66 kg for Lucas Alexander. With the height, is basically 5'8" and 5'11", with Lucas Alexander, the taller man, and he enjoys a 4-inch reach advantage. It's a good one to call. It's pretty tight for me, but I think I'm going to go with Jeka Saragi, going from the last fight in the battle they fought. I think Jeka Saragi can win this one. And as a moderate underdog, it gives advantage. We can cash in some good money. So I think I'm going to go on Jeka Saragi for this one. The next fight of the night is on the heavyweights, Mick Parkin versus Ciar Machado. Ciar Machado is a Brazilian with a record of 8 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Mick Parkin is English, 7 wins, no losses, and no draws. And they're really two good fighters on the heavyweight division of the UFC. Now, just a little known about Ciar Machado Bigfoot. This is going to be his debut for the UFC. Meek Parkin has had like three fights already in the UFC and has a clear record of 7-0. Um, and the record of Sia Machado is 8 wins, one defeat, and 8 wins, one defeat, and one loss. Right. So 8 wins, one defeat, and one draw. Sorry about that. I got my mind up. So fighting out of Canada, he's 29 years of age. McParkin is 28 years of age. They both have the same height. The reach advantage is just one each reach advantage for McParkin. Fighting out of the Gene the Donjon BJJ. So for me, I think the winner of this fight is going to be Shia Machado because this is his first fight with the UFC, and if you're watching from the Contender Series, he was a very great fighter. Had much pressure, had a good ground game, and I believe he's going to do real good at the UFC. So I'm going to go Shia Machado for this one. Next fight on the list here. Yeah, so the next fight of the list here is that one of Christian Leroy Duncan is going with Dennis Tululin. Dennis Tululin has a record of 11 wins, 8 losses, and no draws. Christian Leroy Duncan has 8 wins, 1 loss, and no draws. And on the ranking, he's ranked a little higher than Dennis Tululin, ranked at 63. A middleweight rank for Dennis Tululin is at 81. And so when we go through the fighter stats, we can see that Leroy has a record of 4 wins and 1 loss, 8 wins and 1 loss. His last fight was a loss to Armen Petrosian, which was a very good fight about 4 months and 4 weeks ago. The record of Dennis Tululin is 11 wins and 8 losses. Got more experience on his side. His last fight was a TKO by Gregory Rodriguez from a mount, which was about 2 months ago. Um, the moderate favorite here is Christian Leroy Duncan, and I think I'm going to go with him too because I believe he's a fresher fighter. He's younger, 28 years old compared to 35 years Dennis Tululin. They both weigh at 185 and 186 respectively, and for height, just 1 inch reach advantage for Leroy Duncan, and also for the reach is 2 inch reach advantage. So here are two fighters. Tennis Tululin just came in last minute. Um, with the last minute called a handset. So I believe I'll go with Christian Leroy Duncan, CLD, on this one. The next fight of the night goes to, this is a very tough fight to call because when I checked it out, Chad Analinga versus Jose Johnson. Chad Analinga versus Jose Johnson. Yes, so the next fight of the night is Chad Angelinga versus Jose Johnson. And this seems to be a very good fight. Although I'm not too impressed with Jose Johnson, watching his last fights, not too impressive. But Chad Angelinga, I know, is a beast. He comes in as a slight underdog. Slight favorite is Jose Johnson. Um, his nationality is from the U.S. Is fighting out of Copper Cast and Cove in Texas. He's 28 years old and has a pretty good record. His last loss was to Demon Blackshire, which was a twister 3 months ago. Chad Hanalinga lost a unanimous decision to Alan Lee, um, who really impressed on that day. If watching that fight, you know Hanalinga fought pretty well, but it was a decision win. Um, Yeah, there's a rich advantage of over 7 inch for Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson has a 7 inch reach advantage, but there's a big hole in the game of Jose Johnson. He has no takedown defense, and he doesn't even shoot for a takedown. He fights with his chin up, like a heavyweight boxer, you know. So uh, I don't think he'll be a good match for Handelinga and the Liga Chad seems to be a better option. So I'm gonna go with Chad on this one. So the next fight of the night is coming to Jonathan Pierce and Joan Dassin Brito. Without wasting much time, I'm gonna go for Brito. Brito seems very powerful for Jonathan Pierce, although Jonathan Pierce is a pretty good fighter. Um, He's got a good record of 14 wins, 4 losses, and no losses, and he's riding a five-fight win streak. The last time he fought was 11 months ago with Darren Elkins, and he won with a unanimous decision. But Joe Anderson Brito is a very powerful fighter. His last fight was a ground and pound TKO win over Weston Wilson. He's running on a three-fight win streak. Last year was a rear naked choke to Lucas Anderson, who's also Lucas Alexander, sorry, who's also fighting on this card, and Andrea Philly. So he seems to be a pressure fighter, very powerful, never back down, always coming forward. And as a Brazilian fighter, we all know that these Brazilian fighters are really pretty solid. And guess what? It's from the shooter box gym, the same gym that we have the likes of Oliveira and some very powerful Brazilian fighters. But I believe he's going to do his best. He's going to win this fight. So my bet is going to be on Joe Anderson Brito. Joe Anderson Brito. Next fight of the night, which we are looking at right now, is the fight between Chad Analinga. I've said that before. Chad Analinga, Jonathan Brito. Yeah. The next fight is Euros Medic versus Mitek Urubai. Um, Mitek Urubai just came in as a quick substitution. A medic was supposed to fight somebody else, but he's just a last minute replacement. And he comes in pretty strong with 11 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draws. And he's on a 5 fight win streak. He's fighting Euros Medic, the doctor, the welterweight at 52. He's got his last fight was a spinning back fist for ground strikes of Matthew Simmersberger. Omar Morales has beaten the likes of Alon Cruz, Mickey Gonzalez. His last loss, which was a red naked choke, was to Jalen Turner. Um, Hayward Charles was a technical knockout, which he gave to Hayward Charles, was the last fight, the winner, last fight, which Urubai won. He's from Kazakhstan. He also fought 3 months ago and he won Glossio Eliziaro. Yeah, he looks like a very formidable fighter, but I believe that Urus the Medic has much more advantage. Has been in the UFC. Um, will have much more experience, and I see him winning this fight. Although it's pretty hard to say, he seems like a very good fighter too. But I'm taking Urus Medic to win this one. I'm gonna take Urus Medic to win this one. Um, right. So the next fight I'm gonna be looking at is that of Peyton Talbot, Nick Aguirre. Peyton Talbot is the man for me. If you watch him through the contender series coming to the UFC. Played a very good fight, and I believe he's gonna win this fight. He's got a five-fight win streak from Reno, Nevada. He's just 25 years old, um, and he's a huge favorite because everyone's backing him, knowing the experience and the force that he has for this one. Nick Aguero, on the other hand, is the underdog in this fight. His last fight was a loss, a unanimous decision loss to Dan Aguera. Before then, 10 months ago, he beat Brandon Clausen through a submission, rear naked choke. And so far, so good. He's doing pretty good, but I don't think he can stand the power of Peyton Talbot right here. So I'm going to go for Talbot on this one. The next fight of the night is the powerful one between Jordan Levitt and Chase Hooper. Man, that's going to be a banger. Those two guys are the least like they they're not intimidated. The least intimidating fighters in the UFC, like they said. And yes, I'm looking forward to this one. It's supposed to be a banger. These guys like they know themselves a lot. um, Jordan Levitt, aka the Money King, Chase Hooper, aka the Dream. So these guys have quite a close and impressive record. Jordan Levitt has 11 wins and 2 losses with no defeats, while we have Chase Hooper has 12 wins, 3 losses, and just one no contest. Um, the last fight was one with knees and punches. Victor Martinez, Jordan Levitt beat him to win that fight. Chase Hooper, on the other hand, his last fight was a decision, unanimous decision against Nick Fury, which was a very good banger 5 months ago. They're both from the US, fighting from Washington. Chase Hooper fighting from Las Vegas, which is his home. Jordan Levitt. So it looks like it's going to be a very good one. There's a 3 inch reach advantage for Chase Hooper. He's got long hands and a 2 inch height advantage. He's 6'1", and Levitt is 5'9". Able to weigh about 70 kg, which is 156 lbs. Um, Chase Hooper is 24 and Levitt is 28. I'm gonna go on the Monkey King on this one. I'm gonna go on the Monkey King on this one. Jake Matthews, the co-main event. Jake Matthews versus Michael Morales. This is going to be another banger. Watch out for this fight. It's Michael Morales. He came in pretty hot. He is unbeaten in 15 fights, and his last fight was a banger which he had against Max Griffin. Took Max Griffin to deep waters and won a unanimous decision on that one. And all his fights basically has been knockouts, KO. His last five, out of his last 5 fights, three of it has been knockout, technical knockouts. If you look at Jake Matthews, he won his last fight by submission, rear naked choke to Darius Flowers. A pretty good fighter, 19 wins and just 6 losses in his career. Hails out of Australia. He's 28, 29 years old, and is looking to continue his winning streak, or looking to take the O from Michael Morales. I'm going Michael Morales on this one because I believe that he defeats Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews, the last time he lost was a unanimous decision, and he also lost by submission arm triangle choke to Sean Brady. For me, I'm gonna go Michael Morales because he's unbeaten for now. So Michael Morales for me for the co-main, and for the main event. Enough said. I'm not gonna waste my time talking much here. I'm gonna go all in with Brenda Allen. Brenda Allen is on a 5 fight win streak, 22 wins, 5 losses, and he's a pure middleweight. Paul Craig um, just came down from a 205 to middleweight. This is his second fight, and it looks sharp. It looks good. But Paul Craig has not been tested for 5 rounds, and His last fight, he likes going to the ground, and most fighters always have a way of countering that. He's 35 years of age, 8 years older than the Brenda Allen, who's 27. They both stand at 6'3", 6'2", respectively, and the 75, the 76-inch reach. So just 1 inch advantage for Craig. So for me, I'm gonna go Brandon Allen in this fight, but it's a close one. You never can tell. Paul Craig seems to show out sometimes when it comes out to fight, like he's ready to go the distance. But you never know. I'm gonna go Brendan Allen with this one, and I believe that he's gonna do a very, very good job. A very good job. Um, One of the things that I love about MMA is that even though you pick a fighter to win, and you do not or he doesn't win, it's for a good cause. You know what I mean? That means he's taking a hell of a beating. So you have a you have a way to just ameliorate. But like we always say, please just use the money that you can afford to lose. You don't need to sell a house, put your money on anything. I'll tell you that for free. And then secondly, which is very, very important in the UFC or in the MMA betting community, is always make sure, I don't know about that. Yes, so we'll be talking. I'll be closing the session right now. We've talked about all the fights and all the bets predictions. Tomorrow, I'm going to come with a short video explaining my bets and how I'm going to be placing the bets for on Saturday. Uh, I just wish everyone good luck. Enjoy yourself. Please always share the button. Subscribe to this channel. We have much more information coming in. We will be improving as we go. This is 001. This is the first time we're doing this. And I know it's not perfect, but we will get better. So, my people, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow as I drop the video for my bets and my picks exactly. But before I go, I want to share it on the screen. So, I hope you guys have a good time. I hope you guys have gotten all the bets that we have, which is running down the screen right now. You can see we have all our picks running through on there. Estevam, Ogden, Saragi, Machado, Duncan, Chad Hanelinga, Brito, Rosmedic, Talbot, Jordan Levitt, Morales, and Allen. So these are my picks for this week. I'm going to come up with another video showing you how I'm going to have it played for maximum profits. Um, so you have to understand that the betting system is not by luck, it's by experience. But if you know how to categorize your bets, you'll be able to come out with a profit no matter what in any situation. So join me tomorrow. Please share and like, and also tell people about this channel. We're just beginning, but we're gonna make sure you catch out this season. Don't play, man. You're gonna make sure you make that money watching the UFC and making money from the bets. So have a good time. See you tomorrow. Good luck and God bless.